Hi everyone. Today we'll be exploring, discussing the tool vRealize Operations Manager, which is a monitoring tool from VMware and is a wonderful tool to monitor your environment, whether it's a public, private, or hybrid environment, and proactively get notified about the issues or the alerts that gonna happen in your environment as soon as they happens in your environment without being the end customer uh, getting involved. So we'll be using these VMware freely available hands-on labs to explore this wonderful tool, which most of the people think is quite difficult to understand, or it's not that appropriate to get the alerts and incidents. So we'll explore this tool and we'll understand that. So first of all, let me give you an idea about these HOL labs. These are the hands-on labs that are available for everyone free of cost. You just have to make your VMware account here and you VMware learning account basically, and then you can start exploring these labs. Along with that, you'll also get a manual for each of the lab to understand, but in this case, we'll not be using it. Why? Because we'll be discussing the entire tool, so we do not require this manual at all. I'll be explaining all the usage of this particular tabs and everything. First of all, we'll be exploring the 7.5 version of vROPS, and after that, we'll be shifting to 8.x and we'll be seeing what difference we can achieve and what difference is there and what else we can achieve from 8.6. So how, first of all, what is vROPS? So as I just said, that it's a tool that is used for monitoring purpose. It's a tool that is actually proactively telling you what's happening in your environment as soon as it happens in your environment. And we can see the quick start menu that it's visible in front of you. It's telling you multiple things. It can optimize your performance. It can optimize capacity. It can troubleshoot the issues. It can even manage the configurations and compliance by benchmarks and object types. We'll be discussing everything one by one. First of all, we'll be discussing this tab so that the idea should be clear. The home tab pretty much gives you the idea about all the things that vROPS can do. That is why it's listed like this. We'll be starting from dashboards first. The dashboard tab basically consists of three things: the dashboard, view, and reports. As you can see here, you can create the dashboards. That would be a pictorial or a graphical representation of the data which is being available to you from your environment. Or you can create a view, which would be a statistical representation of the data, and the report, which would be in a report format, in a PDF or a CSV format, which has two purposes. Either it could be accessed from here only, or it can be automatically transferred to your mailbox. So you don't have to open vROPS. You can directly check the report from your mailbox as per the desired schedule. So we'll be exploring all of these. So let's just get started. So once you click that create dashboard thing, you will get such kind of pane where you can drag and drop the widgets and you can configure them, and this will help you to have some view of your data as per your own need. For example, let's suppose I want to create a dashboard for my vCenter. Let's suppose, first of all, we'll see what all is configured over here. So we can see there are three things configured, three cloud accounts being configured over here. I think this is 8.2 if I'm not wrong. About No, it's 8.4. Okay. So it's pretty much same as in 7.5, but the 8.6 version is a little different. It has a different UI altogether. So you'll get a different idea, but this is 8.4. It's pretty much same as 7.5. The only differences I'll be listing out separately towards the end of this video. So if, as we can see there, the cloud accounts basically, which are configured to get monitored. The accounts, the points, the endpoints. I am assuming that people watching this video must be knowing what is an endpoint. And if not, then there is nothing to worry at all. An endpoint is something from which either you extract the data or you provide services to. So cloud account serves the same purpose over here. vROPS is actually monitoring, is actually providing its services to these three clouds, to these three environments. So if you will see the status of the two clouds is perfectly all right, while the third is having some warnings which could be ignored. So this is the one, the private cloud. The private cloud is the private vCenter. If I'll check the details, over here, I'll get the vCenter details. If I click validate connection, it is successful and I'll save the setting. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to create a dashboard for my private cloud. I want to create a dashboard to get a detailed view of this private cloud. That's the basic thing that any customer, any person, any company which is actually using this vROPS will need to have a basic pictorial representation of their private cloud. So I'll give the name private cloud dashboard. First of all, I'll pick up the object list. No, I'll not pick up this. I'll pick up, no, object relationship. That's not what I want. I want this object list to be there. First of all, I want to see the data. I'll click the refresh content so that it should be refreshed on its own. Self provider, I would be providing the details. Auto select first row. It would always show on the first row, which is okay to me. Then the input data, which objects I want to incorporate over here. So let's suppose I will create this dashboard in this manner that my first column will have some host details, followed then my next widget or something, or my view would have the machine details, and the subsequent widgets should give details about the machine that I am gonna check. So I would be creating in this manner. So I'll pick up object types. I'll check for the host if I could get. So we have 5 hosts over there. I'll select all. Okay. Input transformation, self. Output filter, I don't want any of these additional columns, nothing. I'll name this as host list and I'll save it. Now what I'll do, I will quickly create another object list, I suppose, or I will create, I will pick up something else. Okay, let's go with the object list only. What I will do, I will put an interaction for this. So what will happen when in this widget, I'll be selecting a host, the subsequent list would be automatically updated on the basis of that selection. So how it gonna work, we'll see. I will still edit a few basic details. Refresh content is okay. Self-provider should be off because in this case, we cannot provide the data since we are using an interaction over their place. So VM list. Auto select on one should be there. Input transformation is not required. And I'll save. And I'll see if it is getting updated. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Just a minute. Children. Yes, now it's giving the correct information. Earlier that was connected on self thing. So when it was on self, it was giving details of the host itself, which we do not want. We want the details of the children that we have inside those host particularly. So as you can see, as soon as I am clicking this host, I can see different object types, data store, virtual machine, OS, everything which is over there. So it's serving my purpose. Followed by, I'll put a health chart over there. I'll change the name since it has data stores as well. So I'll say child list, something like that. I will put another interaction because now I want this health to be given over here. Since I want whatever I am selecting over here, it should. This is the one. Hide interactions. So as soon as I'll click this, yes, it's getting updated. Refresh content on, self provider is not required. Okay, I'll be using health only. Show object name. Object name is required. Input transformation. Self. So if I'll check for this VM, okay. Things look good to me. Okay. I will put another widget over here in order to have a detailed okay, I'll see top N. Highest utilization percentile greater than 90. Input transformation, output detail. Okay. VM, I'll be checking for virtual machine. Okay. Okay, so here I'll be having utilization, CPU utilization. Yes, this is the one. No, I made a mistake, I believe. Yes. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Now we'll put one more widget that I wanted to put here. Okay. That's it. First, I'll save this much. I'll change the preference as well so that it should look good too. Yes. Now it will highlight the colors in a much better way. Mm. So what we created in this dashboard, we created a view, we created a pictorial view or a graphical view, which showed all the hosts listed over here, their subsequent child, the health of each child, if we keep on clicking that, the top CPU utilization VMs of each of the specific host, which is being selected, and the topology graph for that specific host. So what is happening in a single pane, we are able to see so many details, the parent, the child, the health, the top CPU utilization VMs, and the complete topology graph as well. If we'll hover off any of the node, it will give us the details of that node, its health, risk, and efficiency, what's its name, and everything. So this dashboard is actually solving our purpose. We can even change the timings, as in the 12-hour, the 7-day timings, the 1 hour, everything we can change. So that's how the dashboards are used. Now, if I'll talk about a view, so we'll create a view as well. We'll create a view, a VM view for CPU memory, CPU and memory utilization. We'll create a view. We'll be choosing the list tab. The subject would be VM. We'll be using the same view to create a report as well. CPU usage. Oh, memory usage. And availability, I believe, will have this as well. Yes. Time settings would be last 30 days and save. We created a view. Now we'll have the sample data. Okay, so we'll create this private cloud. And we got these details. Why we are not able to get details for this? Oh, it's powered off. That's why we are not able to get the details. So if you will see on this view, this will be powered off as well. Yes, it is. So the view is giving you a detailed list of all the VMs that you have in your private cloud. Approximate 27 VMs are there, and it's telling you the CPU and memory utilization as well as the availability. Now we'll talk about the reports. Create a report template. VM report for daily availability, let's suppose. I have created a VM view just before this report. I'll use that only. VM view, this is the one. I'll put a format, PDF, CSV. I want a cover page, table of contents, and footer for my report. Colorization should be okay. And the report is created. Now I'll go to report templates. My report was VM report. This is the one. I'll run it. I'll run it for the complete private cloud, for the complete vCenter that I have. I'll quickly select this private cloud and I'll click OK. The report is generated. I can download the report. I can open it and I'll see the details. I can even schedule this report. I will schedule this report. I want my report to execute daily on this private cloud, let's suppose. I want my time zone. IST time zone at 8 o'clock every day, daily. I can even get my report mailed directly to my mailbox. I can select this option and can add those details if the outbound settings are configured, and if not, then I can simply finish this. So automatically every day my report at 8 o'clock would be executed for the object private cloud. So that's how this dashboard view and reports work. We'll move to the next tab, which is the alert definition tab. Here in this alert definition tab, what we gonna do, we'll be creating an alert definition. It helps us to define an alert. Let's suppose I say CPU utilization is abnormal. My object type is again, let's suppose vCenter, sorry, virtual machine. My advanced settings is same, wait cycle, health cycle, I'm okay with that. Now the symptoms. Now what symptom do I need? I need CPU. Let's suppose I created a new symptom. I said CPU usage is immediate level if metric is greater than 80. Trigger immediate. Critical level if it is greater than 90. Trigger critical. Right. Next. I added a recommendation as well. Policy would be HOL policy, the policy that is there, and I will create this alert definition. There is no notification created as of now. If you will look at this, I'll go to the notification section. I'll add a notification. Before that, I need to have an outbound setting. So I'll go to this management, outbound settings, automated email actions. It's there. I will edit it. It's test successful. I'll save it. That means I can create a notification. I can get email in my mailboxes. I'll go, I'll write CPU usage is abnormal. Object type, it's on virtual machine, which we have created. Alert definition, CPU. No, what's that? CPU abnormal, that was the one. Yes, alert definition is selected over here. Criticality selected as critical. immediate warning info. Though we have created definitions for only two, but I am adding for all. Advanced filters, collector groups, default collector. Next. Plugin type. Standard email plugin, HOL mail server. Next. Okay, I'll put Pankuri dot Mahajan at gmail.com. Notify again after 15, 3, 15. This CPU usage is abnormal. And I created a. If I'll go to alerts, we have created an alert definition. So after some time when we'll observe, some alerts should be visible over here. So in this tab, in this alert section, we can create alert definition that I created. We can create the symptom definition. Obviously, you need a symptom definition. Either you can choose it from the inbuilt one, or you can create your own as in the same manner as I created. Then you have to set a recommendation. I have chosen from the predefined recommendations. You can create your own recommendations as well. Then an action. I did not choose any action, but yes, you can create your own action, or you can choose the actions listed over here and can associate it with your alert definition as well. Then you can create the notification section. Notifications, you want a ServiceNow incident to be opened. You want a standard an email to be delivered. You want a Slack notification. You want an SNMP notification or log file notification. You can select that notification as well. You can even change this templates. You can even add these templates, I believe. Now, okay, you can't edit, you can clone them and then you can create your own template also. You can add the payload templates over here as well. So this is a new feature in 8.x. In 7.5, there was not such case. We have a specific defined payload template, which was visible over there in the notification section only, and we just have to provide the details. We can't customize it. But in 8.x series, this is a good benchmark difference. Apart from that, in 7.5, we used to have the vROPS agent, which used to perform the VM level monitoring, I will say, not the application specific, not the IP monitoring, anything. It cannot be done using 7.5. But in 8.x onwards, since we have the Telegraph agent, we can perform the IP monitoring, we can perform the application level monitoring. So that's another difference. Also in 7.5 and 8.x, I'll open a notepad to make you understand the difference. So in vROPS 7.5, no payload templates. Payload templates cannot be edited. Non-edit table payload templates. You have to use that only. Second, vROPS agent was there. Which could do only VM specific monitoring. Monitoring. Third, only HA availability was there. That means you can have one master one master node, one replica node, data nodes, depending on your need and requirement, and remote collectors. In 7.5, in order to have telegraph agent, you need to deploy ARC, which was application remote collector, which was a separate appliance available as an OVF, which you need to configure in 7.5 in a separate setting. So that was the pretty much differences between 7.5 and 8.x. If I'll go to 8.x now. So for the first point, you have editable payload templates. And even you can add your own template after cloning the basic ones. Then you have telegraph agent, which could do application level monitoring, as well as IP monitoring, which was not possible in 7.5 at all, etc. Third, you have continuous availability in place of high availability. Like there is an option you can choose HA or CA. So in CA, basically the concept of availability zones come up, where you deploy 3 zones and you deploy nodes on the basis of your architecture. I'll be creating a separate video on explaining that CA and the features and the architecture of vROPS. A separate video will be there. So just follow my channel. And in here, you don't need any ARC. No ARC is required. There is a concept of cloud proxy, which comes in vROPS, for which again, I'll create a separate video. So I'll be creating a separate video because vROPS is a vast topic. Today we covered dashboard, views, and reports, how to create a dashboard, how to create a view, how to create a report, how to use them, how to link them, how to perform dashboard interaction. And there is one more topic which I think I should cover as of now, since we have covered most of the points for dashboard navigation. You'll find very few blocks for them. So what happens with dashboard navigation, like if you will look at this, here I am using the interactions thing, right? You remember I have configured two, three interactions over here, here, and here, and here. But these interactions are between the widgets. Now, if I want to create another dashboard, I can do so, and I can actually put navigation over here. How will I do it? I will select another dashboard. Let's suppose VM availability is selected. And then I will, let's suppose VMs in the selected, whatever it is, I can connect it in this manner. So in this form, the dashboard navigation would happen in the same way. Your dashboard would be populated, right? So that is the concept. We are not doing it over here, but I have just shown you as an example that you can perform dashboard navigation as well. So dashboards are completed, alerts are completed. Now coming to environment settings. So in environment, you pretty much get the idea of everything you have in your environment, which means you can create a logical segregation of your environment. You have your own environment, you have hosts, you have clusters, you have VMs, you have port groups, you have NSX components, you have other components. Now here in vROPS, using this tab, you can actually create a logical segregation based on the grouping mechanism from vROPS. How will do that? If you will see, there are different options given over here, custom group, data centers, cloud zones, applications, and inventory. What we will do, we'll create 2 custom groups as an example. One is the Windows custom group. This will help you understand the concept of logical segregation. Windows VM. I'll select a group type. I'll put it under environment. That's the the best I could think of. I'll HOL policy, which we were using and everything. Keep group membership up to date. It should be selected. It's for VMs, so definitely it's gonna apply on VMs only. I will check properties section. I will pick a property. I will perform the segregation based on the basis of OS. Contains. Okay, this one. I'll preview what all VMs are falling. Only 2 VMs I have. So you'll have multiple VMs, but here I am having only 2 VMs. I'll add another custom group, Linux VMs. I'll again put it in environment. I will again put an HOL policy. I can even clone that Windows VM thing as well, but I have created it from scratch again so that you should have an idea, but you can do it a little faster if you'll clone it from there and you need to make few changes. Virtual machine, metrics again, because it's a redundant task actually, which I'm performing, but that's okay for me. Contains Linux, let's suppose if I write. And it has 23 VMs. I think total they have 27 VMs, but I'm not sure. Maybe 2 are templates or whatever it is. So if now you will see there are 2 groups over here. If I'll click VM, I'll get 2 things, Linux and Windows. There are VMs. It would be updated. It's collecting the data, but it would be updated. The preview is showing, that's fine. Now what I'll do, I will show you the difference. As of now, it's showing 27 VMs. It comprises Linux as well as Windows. Now what I'll do, I'll change the preview source. Instead of selecting the entire private cloud, I'll go and I'll select this custom groups. And in this custom groups, we have it in environment, and then I'll select my Linux VMs. Linux VMs are selected, and then so now we have 23 VMs listed over here. Most of them are in powered off state, as you can see, but their data is still getting collected by vROPS using the telegraph agent. So this is the logical segregation we are talking about. When it is useful, when you are creating a view for, I'll give you an example. When you're creating a view for your disk capacity usage, at that time, you don't want to do it for entire vCenter. Why? Because the Linux VMs won't be having the partitioning of C, D, E, and F. Only the Windows VM would be having that partitioning. At that time, you'll require custom groups to be there, which would segregate your Linux VMs and your Windows VM. So then this is really helpful. So that's one of the use case where it is helpful. You can even create your own data center. You can fill up the details and you can select which host, which cluster you need to put in it, which region you need to put in it, and what all you need to put in it. So you can create your own data center and you can use that in your report view and dashboard. So that was the function. Then here we even have this, we realize, no. It will show you all the data, like you can perform multiple things over here. Even you can configure the service discovery adapter. We'll be talking about that also when I'll create a separate video over application and service monitoring. There we'll be talking about that. Today we are very much restrictive to the basic tabs of vROPS, the basic exploration of vROPS, and the basic functions that we can perform from vROPS. So a separate video will be there for service and application level monitoring. Then comes the administration tab, the inventory tab, that will show you all your inventory and its collection state and status. And you can just Stop collecting the data, start collecting the data. Oh, my time is about to end. I'll extend the time. Okay, now I have ample amount of time. Policies. You just saw that we were using HOL policy all the time, which is the active policy as of now. We can use another policy as well. We can clone, we can add a new policy, and we can create that. So it will work in the same manner as that policy is working. Access control. Let's suppose authentication sources. So we have already added as an identity manager. Now in access control, we can add users, local users, or we can import the users from identity manager as well. Let's suppose I'll add a local user, Pankuri. Password would be something like this. First name, PM, I'm giving random values. I don't need password X. Okay, last name is required. PM, let's suppose. Next. Okay, objects, I want to give it to, I want this user to be able to access all the objects. So I have created a user Pankuri. So you can create your local users as well as you can import users and groups and entire group from identity manager as well. And you can even put up a login message. Display on login. Title. Just a second. Welcome to vROPS. Content. This is part of PM channel video. Okay, and I'll save it. And I'll log out. See, simple. And I created the user PM and the password. Login. Oh, I have incorporated wrong password, I guess. Let me log in back. Okay, I'll go to administration again. I'll change the password of the user PM because maybe I was having fat fingers at that time. Finish. Okay. I'll again log in, log out. Welcome to vROPS. Yeah. Not sure why it's not letting me log in, but it should happen. Though the password is correct this time. Not sure. Okay, we'll move further and we'll check this later on. Then here, We have multiple options, but they would be discussed separately. But one thing would be discussed, like if you have seen creating me custom groups, then there I was selecting the group type environment. So if you don't want the specific group type, then you can create your own group type and you can name it and you can use it over there as well. So that's an important option. Maintenance schedules, for example, you have some of the VMs where alerts are configured and you want them to have some maintenance activities going on those VMs. So you'll be having a lot of alerts in your mailbox, right? So what do you want? You don't want such things to happen. So you can put up a maintenance schedule. You can select those VMs particularly, and you can schedule a maintenance thing, and automatically the alerts won't be delivered at that time. So this will not flood your mailbox system. Management, the most important is the cluster management thing. The cluster, as you can see, there is only one master node which is running. There is no high availability. There is no continuous availability since we only have one node. Then the outbound settings, which will help you to deliver the information out of vROPS. For example, you want your email notification to be there. You want your Slack notification to be there. You want your uh, ServiceNow ticket to be raised. So those settings would be configured over here. Then we'll have the history, the audit and the recent task, whatever you performed, it will tell you everything, status of all, completed, let's suppose, whatever it is, it will show you over here. Purge after 14 days, you have settings. Then the support, you can download the support bundles, you can check the logs and everything over here. So that's the pretty much the basic idea about vROPS. Even yes, the basic thing that I forgot to include is how you can restart your cluster. So for that, you need to log into the admin UI. Admin. Using the username admin and the password, you can take your cluster offline. Video offline. You can put any reason over there and you can take it offline. Since it's only one node, it won't take much time to go offline, I believe. You want to upgrade your vROPS, we'll be covering a separate video on that. It's waiting for analytics to go. Down to shut down. Once this cluster is offline, you'll not be able to access the UI page. You can only access the admin page, and you can first click online cluster and then only you'll be able to access the UI page. Unable to connect to platform services. Now the cluster is offline. Now I want to bring it online. I'll again click this and it will take some time to come online. So this video covers pretty much the basic functions of vROPS, the basic uh, things that we can perform from vROPS. Now there would be subsequent videos. The following videos will talk about the continuous availability, the how we can upgrade your vROPS, how we discuss the optimization thing and everything. So there will be multiple videos on that. So this video was specifically for these tabs and understanding the usage of each tab and how we can create dashboard, view, and report. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned to the channel for more videos and updates on vROPS and VMware technologies. Bye bye.